Hello friends, welcome back to my channel. My name's Emily if you're new here. Today's video is a very exciting video. It is my September TBR video. I am doing things a little bit differently today. I'm actually going to be using a TBR prompt jar that I made today because this is it here, by the way. I am so indecisive of what I want to read, and so I thought a TBR jar would be so fun just to pick out random prompts and matching them with the books that I have on my TBR cart. I am so excited to read nearly all of these books. I was just extremely overwhelmed about what books I should pick for September, so I thought a TBR jar would be so fun just to pick out however many books I want to read this month and yeah, just go from there. So I think I'm going to pull 5 or 6 books out with my prompt jar. I have a very exciting video I will be working on from the 1st of September all the way through to the 30th. I am doing a 30-day challenge, so stay tuned for that video. I'm going to be putting a lot of effort into that, so the books that I'm going to be reading for that video will not be in this TBR because I want to keep them a surprise since it's going to be such a big project for me that I'm going to be working on. So I think 6 is a good number for me to pull out, and I can just go with those books that I pick. If I don't end up reading all 6, that's totally fine because I'm working on this really big project, so I'm not overly too concerned, but I still would like to have some other options for like full length novels, so we'll be pulling out of this jar. Now, as well as my TBR jar, I want to try and fit some prompts for a readathon that I am participating in September, which is Thick Thighs. Thick Thighs readathon is hosted by Sash Reads, The Reading Wren, Reading with Merv, and Sheba and Shelves. So the Thick Thighs readathon will be running from the 11th through to the 17th of September. So there is like a bingo card that you can tick off all of the books like for the bingo. You don't have to read those specific prompts for Thick Thighs if you don't want to. You can just free read whatever you like pretty much. So the prompts for Thick Thighs, I'll put it up on the screen, is read a book, LGBTQIA+ rep, self-care, graphic novel, free space, BIPOC author, share TBR, fat MMC, and join a live stream. So those are the prompts for the readathon. So I feel like that would be quite easy to accomplish. I'll just kind of pick the books that I'm going to read for that readathon separate to this video as well. Without further ado, let's pick out some prompts. So I'm literally just gonna shake it up. So this is one. Okay, so the first prompt is a book published after 2015. You can see. So I think pretty much, wow, this is very stressful. I think I'm gonna go with I think this was published after 2015. Yes, so I'm going to pick Does It Hurt for the first prompt. This is by H.J. Carlton. This is a dark romance. It is set in Australia apparently. This is what Sash was saying. It's set in Australia. It is about a woman who is running away from some place because she obviously did something bad, I suppose. But this is what the synopsis says. Who am I? I've forgotten the answer to that question long ago. Ever since I ran from that house, so desperate to escape, I left with only the clothes on my back and the shoes on my feet. After that day, I've only ever walked in stolen shoes. Could I be a girl who is searching for the meaning of life in faceless men? They were also forgettable until he came along. He took me under a waterfall and made me forget my name, and in return, I took his instead. Enzo Vitali, an enigmatic man that will only ever love the deep sea, or rather the predators that inhabit it. Turns out he's not so different from the monsters he feeds. He lured me onto his boat like a fish in the ocean, seeking vengeance for my crime. Had I realized his intentions and that a massive storm would leave us shipwrecked, I would have run. Now, I'm a girl who's seeking refuge in a discreet lighthouse with a man who loathes me as much as he craves me. He wants to hurt me, but the old caretaker of the abandoned island may have intentions far more sinister. It's no longer a question of who I am, but rather, will I survive? So, yes, this is about a runaway. I'm pretty sure, obviously, she finds Enzo and a murder, maybe a mystery plotline, thriller plotline. Sash from Sash Reads did say that this is definitely like a thriller dark romance, so I'm very, very intrigued by this. The couch. Okay, so prompt number 2. A book with a person on the cover. A book with a person on the cover. Right. Well. Maybe I will pick. I'm going to go with The 7 Year Slip by Ashley Poston for this prompt. Obviously, we've got 2 people on the cover here. I have heard lots and lots of good things about this book all over Bookstagram. I literally picked it up because I had a friend who reviewed it, gave it 5 stars, one of their favorite books of the year. So I was extremely intrigued. This is definitely magic realism. There is magic realism. This is the same author of The Dead Romantics, and I'm pretty sure that book was about a ghost falling in love. So I'm just super intrigued. I don't even know what the blurb says, but I know that if there is time travel involved in this book. So 6 months ago, Clementine West had the worst day of her life, so she came up with a plan to keep her heart safe, stay busy, work hard, take no risks, and it's been working. That is until one day she finds a strange man standing in her kitchen, a man with kind eyes, a crooked smile, and a recipe for the perfect lemon meringue pie. The kind of man that, before everything, she could have fallen for. He's perfect, but for one thing, he lives in the past. 7 years ago, to be exact. This should be impossible, but Clementine used to love impossible things, and maybe, just maybe, she will again. I am obsessed. I don't read a lot of romances. I don't read a lot of contemporary romances, so I am very excited to actually read this one. I feel like I'm going to absolutely love it, just because there is like a little bit of fantastical elements involved. So I'm very, very, very excited for this one. So that is book 2. On to book 3. I'm going to go with this one. It just came out. Oh, I put that back in the thing, silly me. Oh my gosh. I was like, did I put the same one in there twice? Okay. Prompt number 3. An author's debut novel. So, good question. I know The Poppy War was R.F. Kuang's debut novel, but am I prepared for The Poppy War? I do not think so. September, I think I want to keep fantasy to a minimum. I feel like I've just been reading so much fantasy, especially high stake fantasy books, like heavy plot, heavy politics. I need a break. Debut novel. A Flicker in the Dark is Stacey Willingham's debut novel. I think I'm going to go with this one. If I can get it out of my cart. How did I even get it in here is a good question. I think, I'm so stupid. Wow. Okay. I am certain this is Stacey's debut novel. A Flicker in the Dark is her first novel and is currently writing her second, which was All the Dangerous Things. I read it and I loved it. So this is a thriller. This is by Stacey Willingham. This is about a woman who, when she was 12 years old, 6 girls went missing in a summer period, and the whole town was freaking out about it. Her father had confessed to the crimes and was put away for life, leaving Chloe and the rest of her family to grapple with the truth and try to move forward while dealing with the aftermath. So her father was a serial killer. Now, 20 years later, he is a psychologist in Baton Rouge and getting ready for her wedding. While she finally has a fragile grasp on the happiness she's worked so hard to achieve, she sometimes feels as out of control of her own life as the troubled teens who are her patients. So when a local teenage girl goes missing and then another, that terrifying summer comes crashing back. Is she paranoid, seeking parallels from her past that actually aren't there? Or, for the second time in her life, is Chloe about to unmask a killer? So I love Stacey's writing. I find it so lyrical and beautiful, so well written. All the Dangerous Things was so well written. I was so enthralled in the story the whole time. So many good plot twists. So I have really good hopes for A Flicker in the Dark. I have heard amazing things about this as well, especially for being her debut novel. So I'm very excited. I know that Destiny Sidwell recently did a reading thrillers vlog, and she read this and she did recommend it for herself, and she's very picky with her thrillers. So I have high hopes for this one. Okay, on to prompt 4. BIPOC author. Okay. I think... Oh. I think that Zane Schreifer is a BIPOC. I need to... Yes, so Zane Schreifer is BIPOC. She was born in Indonesia and raised in New Zealand. Zane Schreifer has a love for the world of make-believe and stories based in fantasy worlds. So this is a fantasy romance, I think. This is called Blood Moon Sanctum, A Curse of Obsidian and Silver, Book 1. Can we just take a moment for the cover, please? I love this cover. It is absolutely beautiful. So Blood Moon Sanctum is about a war. It is fantasy. So war is waging between the Black Bloods and the Paragon Dawn. This time, the time has come for the other kingdoms to pick a side, except there's one thing that they will get in the way of pledging: their unwavering allegiance. Every king wants Princess Deverex's heart on a platter, or worse, a ring around her finger. Her plan is simple: find the witch that cursed her and stay hidden in plain sight so the prophecy may never come to life. Only one of those two things has been doable. Running from her crown was easy. Dabbling in black market trade has its benefits. Getting rid of the curse, however, seems to be a fallacy. Her truth will be found in the pages of a long forgotten book. But some books aren't meant to be read. Some doors should never be unlocked, because when he comes out, he's not going back in. And once he is out, there is no telling what monsters will crawl out of hell with him. I'm very intrigued. Love me demon monster vibes in books, especially fantasies. I'm going to pull prompt 5, the 5th prompt. So let's see what we get. A book with a pretty cover. That's easy, I think. I definitely know what book I'm going to pick for this one. I will be reading Medusa by Jessie Burton for this prompt. I am so excited. This is absolutely gorgeous. I was kindly sent this by Bloomsbury Publishing. I am so excited. I love Medusa's retellings. I love anything about Medusa. I loved Medusa in the Percy Jackson series. It was just so much fun. So this, I'm going to read the synopsis because it's even... the synopsis is super lyrical and I'm just so excited to read this. So, if I told you that I'd kill a man with a glance, would you wait to hear the rest? The why, the how, what happened next? Exiled to a far-flung island after being abused by powerful gods, Medusa has little company other than the snakes that adorn her head instead of hair. Haunted by the memories of a life before everything was stolen from her, she has no choice but to make peace with her present. Medusa was Medusa the monster, but when the charmed and beautiful Perseus arrives on the island, her lonely existence is blown apart, unleashing desire, love, and betrayal. Monster, man-hater, murderess. Forget everything you've ever been told about Medusa in a new version of the story that history set in stone long ago. Obsessed with the writing already. Obsessed with the synopsis. I am so excited for this. This book is also under 200 pages, so I feel like I will get this read really quickly, and I know that I'm going to love it because Jennifer Sate and Madeline Miller have both blurbed this book, so I have very, very high hopes as well. Final prompt I'm going to pull out, so here we go. The one prompt that I did not want to get this one. A book that is over 500 pages. Really? Oh my god. I don't think I have. I know this is over 500 pages, but I don't think I could do it. This is one option, the Poppy War. I am totally going I did start this, but I know for a fact that Uzumaki is over 500 pages. Okay. I am going with Uzumaki by Junji Ito for this prompt because it is over 500 pages and it is a manga, but I don't care if the page count is what matters. So we're going with Uzumaki. I have already read the first chapter, the first volume in this bind up. So yes, I can just say that. I have already read the first volume in this bind up, but that is totally fine. I have wanted to continue on with Uzumaki because I want to pick up more Junji Ito work. I love Junji Ito's artwork and the stories. I read The Luminal Zone by Junji Ito and I loved it. So Uzumaki is about spirals. That's all you need to know. It is terrifying. Love it. So excited to continue on. That was a good last book. So here is the stack that I will be reading in September. I am very excited. We have a very good range of genres. We have some fantasy, thriller, romance, a dark romance, and a manga. And of course, the project that I'm working on for the full month of September, I also have that going on. So I have a lot of reading to do this month. But I actually feel pretty good about this TBR, if I'm not going to lie. I'm very excited. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I had so much fun pulling these prompts out. Actually, we're doing this from now on. I will obviously write some more prompts and to put in this jar because I only think I wrote maybe 30 prompts, but I will find more prompts to add into the jar. Please don't forget to like, comment and subscribe. It really helps my channel grow. Thank you all for watching and I'll see you on my next one. Bye.